Hey y'all, we're here at the cabin and I told you guys I was gonna film just to update a little bit. I look a hot mess. We went hunting this morning and none of my hunting stuff fits, so I'm in my husband's shirt because it's the only thing that fits me right now. And hopefully you can hear all this. I'll try to project, I guess. But yeah, so on the way down to the cabin, I talked to my husband about his feelings about the pregnancy each trimester. So we've kind of gone through that. So I wrote everything down. I have it all listed here, and I'm gonna tell you guys about it. And I hope this helps with your significant other and their feelings. My dog's out here with me, so you might see her running around in the back. And I've just been so tight today, and Braston Hicks has been crazy today. So I have just been lounging around, and I'm a hot mess. My son is with my father-in-law at the grocery store, and my husband's on the tractor doing something in the fields. So, I says, finally I'm by myself. This is and I tried to get my husband to let me film him talking. And I wish I did, because his reaction to some stuff was just absolutely hilarious. So, sorry. So his reaction was hilarious, and I wish he would just let me film it, but oh well. He told me I need to film shooting a deer, so we'll see about that. I think he's gonna sit with me this afternoon. This morning my son sat with me, and my son has great eyes because he saw every deer before I did. No bucks, just does this morning, and he was like, there's a deer, there's another. And of course it's really hard to see by the tree line, for me at least. My eyes are not the greatest, but 8-year-old eyes are amazing, and it's an amazing thing. So that was exciting. He enjoyed it, and this is probably the first year he's been able to sit through the whole thing and not have to leave halfway, because it can be a long time. But he brings his phone and plays games when the light comes up. Okay, so diving in, Patrick's feelings. First trimester. He said he was so stoked, he was so excited. He wasn't nervous or scared at all. It turns out we had opposite first trimester feelings, because I was not terrified, but I was oh, okay, our world is about to be blown up, because that is exactly what happens when you have a baby. I knew all the hard stuff that came along, and I knew everything to come, and he didn't, and I still know everything to come. So, but yeah, I was more oh my goodness, okay, it's happening, we're doing this. And he was all stoked first trimester. He couldn't wait to tell everybody. I think that was pretty hard for him the first trimester, not to tell people the big news. But also with first trimester, he, at some point in time, we were having a little bit of financial troubles, and big changes going on right then with his job. And so that, on top of the pregnancy, and on top of how I was feeling with the pregnancy, in the first trimester I was, don't come near me. I was no affection whatsoever. I wanted no affection. And that's awful to say, but that's how I felt. I was just oh, it was awful, so nauseous every single day. And I never got sick. It was just nausea the whole day, which sometimes I think could be worse, because I feel if you would get sick, I don't know, I was the same with both pregnancies. I never threw up, I just got really nauseous. But I feel if you were to throw up, it'd be done, hopefully. I don't know, just because I've never experienced that. I've heard both ways, where you just throw up and then it's all good until the next time you get that feeling. Well, having that feeling the whole day is just awful. So I was feeling like that, and he's not used to me not showing any kind of affection, like not wanting to be touched. He was not used to that. So he asked me, are you ever going to go back to normal? And that was just, oh my God, it was heartbreaking. But yeah, I mean, that's how he felt. Sorry, my camera died. Crazy. So yeah, so my husband was not used to me not showing affection, and he did ask, are you ever going to go back to normal? And that was so heartbreaking, and that just tells you a little bit of how he really felt. He didn't know what was going on. I was a completely different person. He didn't know how to handle it. He didn't know, it wasn't like I was evil. I wasn't like this evil person. But it was a new type of behavior that he hadn't seen from me. And I think a lot of it, it was overwhelming for him. So first trimester, probably one of the hardest trimesters is what he said, that it was the hardest one. It's just a lot of feelings in the beginning on both halves, and then the beginning, you always, at least in my opinion, you always feel the worst. Like, I don't want to say physically, third trimester is different, but it's almost like I felt like I didn't know who I was, what I wanted. I couldn't decipher my feelings. That was really frustrating, not being able to decipher what I wanted to eat, how I felt that day, like that's exactly what it was. I could not decipher my own feelings. And that's so frustrating for me. I can't imagine it for my spouse, like for Patrick. That had to be very frustrating. So yes, he was excited, but then came all the nausea and the I don't know how I feel type of things. And yeah, he just wanted to make sure I was going to go back to me, the person he married, which is very sweet too. He felt a little lost. And so if your significant other is going through that, he told me like the best advice he could give any of you guys or any of the wives is what he said, is that just be open and honest and talk. So what had happened, like there was an incident where he came home from work and he went straight upstairs, and I could just tell something was wrong, something he wasn't telling me. I dropped what I was doing. I marched my hiney upstairs, and I stood in front of him and I said, what's going on? Let's talk. Like, you just have to, that's what worked for us. And it could be different for everybody. Like, what works for us may not work for you. And, but just, he needed to say his feelings, and he needed someone to listen. And that, like, we're really good at communicating. So, be very open, honest, and communicate. Communicating my own feelings, and I told him, I said, I don't like who I am right now. Like, I can't decipher my feelings daily, and it's frustrating, and I never feel okay. And it had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with first trimester pregnancy. And I told him that. I said, I promise I'll go back to normal. And I knew that confidently because I had gone back to normal after my first. So I knew you go through so many changes. So if you're in your first trimester and it's your first child, you do go back to normal. I promise. Things go back. Jumping into second trimester. This was a fun trimester. This is the trimester where I started feeling like myself and things started going back to normal. You kind of settle into the groove of pregnancy. This is also when we got to tell everybody. So my husband was super proud during second trimester. We got to tell his family, my parents, and he could finally like burst the bubble, let the news out. He said he felt very relieved when he was able to like get that secret off his chest. So that was great. That was fun second trimester. Our affection got better. I wouldn't say it still has not gone back 100% because second trimester you start feeling like yourself, but the affection still fully isn't there. And third trimester, like, it's a whole different ball game. So I'll get into that. But so the affection still hasn't fully ever come back. And I told him, I said, I promise it will. But you also have to think, and you might want to tell your spouse this, you don't feel like yourself. And I don't feel beautiful every day. I feel large. Like right here sitting in front of you, I'm heavy chested. That makes me look even heavier. My stomach is huge. I'm in my husband's shirt. I have no makeup on. Like, I don't feel pretty. And that's part of life though. Like when you don't feel like that, it comes through in some way, and your spouse will probably get the brunt of it. So, definitely be open and honest. I mean, but you gotta do things that make you feel pretty too. Like get your nails done, put on makeup every once in a while, get up and get dressed. It's hard. Personally, I'm not gonna sit here and do that at the cabin. You know, I'm not gonna put on a full face of makeup to go on camera while I'm at the cabin, because that's not me, and I'm trying to keep everything real, because I told you I started this for me to document and not for others. I want to help others, and I love for other pregnant people to compare things or get advice, because I love getting advice from other people. But I'm also not going to sit there and pretend type of thing, because this was mostly, I did it for me. So I'm not going to put on a show at all for you guys, and but sometimes you do have to put on a show for your spouse or for yourself. Sometimes you have to fake it yourself. You have to get up and put on a face of makeup and see if that makes you feel better. So yeah, this affection got better, but that was a long tangent. The affection got better, but never fully came back. But it was our best trimester, was second. Telling the family. He said it was really hard not to tell. I told you he felt relief, but he was not worried about telling his parents. I wasn't worried about telling my parents, because this is like their 9th grandbaby. Holy. And, but it's his parents first, and we were freshly married, so that's a lot. I was nervous. He said in the car, he goes, what, are they going to shun us? He goes, I wasn't nervous at all. So he had no doubts. Of course, I don't ever want to do anything that maybe his parents would frown upon. So I was a little nervous, but I knew they'd be happy, and I knew they wouldn't shun us, but still, it was nerve-wracking. And I love his parents, so it had nothing to do with them. It was all me and my feelings. Swagging over here. As far as the baby goes in the second trimester, so first trimester with the baby, you don't really feel much. Second trimester, you start feeling movements. Super exciting for the mom, frustrating for the husband. At least for Patrick, it was very frustrating, because I would feel kicks, and I'd be like, oh, put your hand there, and then he'd get nothing. And it's not like you can cue your child a kick, you know? But he also hyped it up, he told me. He said, I think my son and father-in-law are back. He hyped it up, and he said that he thought they were going to be like big kicks and like big movements right off the bat, and he didn't really know, and he's never been through a pregnancy where he knows what to expect. Like his family doesn't really have too many young ones, so he's never been around a pregnant person on the daily or long enough to know what happens. So he was expecting big kicks off the bat, and it's like flutters. It's if you catch one, it's a good one. So that's second trimester. I feel like my son is gonna come scare me. He might. Okay, third trimester. So third trimester is when you start buying stuff and getting super excited. So this is when my husband, sorry guys, my son is sneaky, and I feel like he's just gonna try and pop out and scare me. So third trimester, he started buying stuff, which was so exciting, and that was exciting for me too, because I got to see his excitement. So he bought like little Georgia outfits, little Falcon outfits, you get to see their excitement more in the third trimester, I believe. At least that's how it is for us. Third trimester for him, he said, "Holy crap." Those are his exact words. He's like, "Holy crap," is how I feel. He goes, because everything is about to become a reality. Because you go this whole time, and like you're finally like seeing big kicks. You're finally seeing a full face on the 3D or the ultrasound monitor, and it's all about to come a reality. And that's what he said. He's like, it's real now, and it's starting to feel a lot real. So he's just like in oh my goodness mode. So he's nervous. I wrote that down. He's nervous. He's more nervous. He doesn't know what to do. Like, he's not going to know what to do. And I think that's super cute, though, that he's worried that he'll just get this baby and be like, ah. So and we're doing a birthing class, and I mentioned that, and he didn't think the birthing class was going to help. I told him I think the birthing class is about like, yeah. Okay, so he wasn't gonna scare me. What's up, babe?
I see you, Roxy. What are you doing?
I'm filming a video.
Huh?
Wanna say hi?
Hello.
What's up?
Seeing where you were.
I'm right here. Did y'all get good stuff at the grocery store?
Yeah.
Good.
Are you gonna edit this fish part?
Yeah, I'll edit this out. Do you want to say something?
Hello.
Do you
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Come here. Hey, do you want to, we're going over Pappas's feelings about the pregnancy. Is there anything you want to say? You had to bend down so I can see you. Can you see yourself right there?
Mm-hmm.
How are your feelings?
Weird.
Why weird?
I'm afraid you're not gonna make it to the hospital.
Oh, so he said, say it louder.
I'm afraid you're not gonna make it to the hospital.
If you can't hear him, he said he's afraid that I'm not going to make it to the hospital. But what'd I tell you?
It will happen.
I'll make it. Did you buy a toothbrush? Aiden. We're going to have to go to the gas station up there.
You have to edit this part.
Oh, you don't want them to know you forgot your toothbrush?
Mm-mm.
Is there anything else you want to say? There you go.
Subscribe and like.
You watch too much KidTube.
It's called KidTube.
I said KidTube. So my son watches KidsTube on his phone. Well, it's not phone, it's an iPod is what he has. And he likes watching people play video games. So he likes watching other kids play games. It's crazy. Oh, and here comes my husband on the tractor.
He didn't show you. Ah! Show your balloon.
Roxy! No! Hey! Hey, do you know what Pappas went and did today?
Well,
Mow.
the grass.
Do you know where? What field?
The first and second.
So you have to go around? Yeah. Say, hey!
Hey!
There he is! He's so handsome. Ah! Sorry, it gets crazy around here. Okay, so my son watches too much of the KidTube, I'm telling you. He wants to subscribe to everybody and like their videos all the time because they tell you to. And, and he's crazy, but he can't do that on his YouTube because he doesn't have his own account. Oh. Go have some lunch. Go on, babe. I'll be right up, okay?
Bunny ears.
Okay, well, you can run around in the back. I don't care. Okay. So, I said third trimester, he started buying stuff. Talked about holy crap, he's nervous. Birthing class. That's where I was at. Now what? Oh, look, he's here. Forgot I turned it around. Hey! Aiden, every single noise this morning was like, what's that? What's that? I was like, if you can hear it, it's probably a bird or a squirrel.
I could have swore I kept hearing stuff behind me.
Now, I was a little nervous. Okay. Oh, you did make a bigger path, yeah.
Well, there's a path there, and I went all the way along the tree line, all the way around.
Oh, did you check the chairs? Were they in the sun?
We'll look up like that.
Okay. Aiden trying to climb his first deer stand. Woo! Hey, babe, let's see that duck again. Yeah. Yeah, that one. So impressive. Look at him. Look at him. He's so nervous. He hates heights, you guys. Hates them. Yeah, don't hit your knee.
What the heck?
You got it, buddy. Just like climbing in the attic. There you go. Go on, one step at a time. You got it, babe. Come on. You can do it, baby. You got up higher earlier. There you go.
Out here.
Nope, you got even higher. Grab the back.
I'm going about right here.
No.
Whose fault is it?
You got it. Just go sit up there. I'll give you $10 if you do it. Hey, just try. You went up higher earlier. Try.
I went down the highest.
Try to go a little higher. We always strive for better.
No,
Yep.
that was better.
Come on, babe. Try. You want mommy to climb up behind you? Aiden, try, baby, try. Try.
Already tried.
Do you want mommy to climb up behind you?
Hey, you were so close, dude. Just come sit up here and you can see what it is to sit there. Just sit here and look. It's not scary.
I don't like heights either, baby, but I did it. Not by much. You tell me all the time.
If you try it one time and you make it all the way up here, I'll never make you do it again. Just try it once. Come on. You were scared of the attic the first time, and once you did it once,
Yeah, you had no problem doing it by yourself before.
you're good. Come on. One step at a time.
You want mommy to climb up behind you?
Hey, deep breath. Deep breath. Come on. I got you.
Ow.
There you go.
Oh man, he's doing it. Whoa! You did so good. Look at that.
Look, I'm going to put this down and flip our feet up.
You're not going anywhere now. Look at that.
And then chill.
Look. Say hi. Hold on, I'll get a picture of y'all. Hey, hey, hey. It's okay. I'll be at the bottom. I'll come back down. Woo! Holy Christmas.
Hey, it's about time to get out there.
I know. Say we gotta go hunting again.
We gotta go hunting again.
Aiden's gonna go in a deer stand.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do. As you can tell, a couple hours have gone by. The light has changed. Yeah, we went riding on the gator, and Aiden tried to go up a deer stand for the first time. I videoed it. I'll ask him if he wants me to put it in because he cried. He was so nervous. He hates heights. He hates them. So I'm very proud that he did it. But okay, so third trimester, Patrick was nervous. Sorry, I'm jumping right back in because we're about to go back out hunting, so I gotta get this done. So he didn't think the birthing class was gonna help. And I'm trying to think of what happens at birthing classes, but I could have told him wrong, but I told him I thought it was going to be like from going into labor to like the first few days of with the baby, and like go over specifics and like how to care and stuff like that. So I hope that's right, and that made him feel a little better. He said they should have called it a parenting video or a parenting class. So he said it might help, but he'll let me know what he thinks of it. It's a 6-hour long class. So, and I think it's November 11th for like 6 hours we're doing it. But you tour the hospital and everything like that, so it should be fun, and I think it'll be very informative. So in the third trimester, I've had like this cold sick thing going on that you guys know about. So it's a different kind of sick than the first trimester. First trimester was like all nausea. This one's just like cough and awfulness, but I do need more help like getting on my clothes. I have trouble bending over sometimes, and it depends how she's laying. So like taking off pants is such a chore. So it's such a chore. So I do need more help, and I asked him if he finds that like very needy and what he thought of that, and he said that he thought that it was very comical how much help I need now, and like he thinks it's funny when I can't do certain things because he's not used to that. So he just thinks it's funny, and plus I'm just like, So he finds it comical. the third trimester we both agreed was the most fun trimester, because it's more real, like I said earlier, and there's more you get to do, like the 3D ultrasound. That starts to become so real because you see a real face, and it's like you start putting things together. So it's definitely the most fun trimester. So second trimester was really enjoyable because I can still do a lot. Third trimester is a fun trimester. I also asked, they're out there getting ready. I also asked what the worst thing about this, like he thinks the worst thing about pregnancy is. So I asked him to think about like me and what he thought the worst thing about pregnancy is. And he said that being uncomfortable a lot. He said, I can't imagine like just being uncomfortable. So I felt like that was really touching, that he knows that like that's a thing that like I don't like, and so he like has sympathy, I guess, and that made me feel really good, because yeah, you are uncomfortable, especially in third trimester, a lot, and so the fact that he understands was really nice to learn. Y'all, just even like talking through this with him, I learned a lot, and it was funny, like some of the things he thought, and I just feel like I learned so much about like how he saw things. So it was really good to talk it out like this, because I did learn that he like does notice things, and it's really nice. So yeah, I'd recommend doing this, like sit down and talk to your husband or significant other about this stuff. So that was the worst thing that he thought pregnancy was, and I said, okay, so what do you think the best thing is? And he said cankles. So he laughed and said having cankles must be awesome, because I have crazy cankles, especially lately in the third trimester. But his serious answer was being able to use I'm pregnant as an excuse for everything, literally everything. And I think it's funny. So like if we're competing with something, I'm like, well, I'm pregnant, I win. Like, you can't trump I'm pregnant. Like, so he thinks that'd be fun to use that. And then he also said feeling everything he thinks to be weird but kind of cool, like feeling it all on the inside. Last night she like jumped, and he was like, whoa. He gets kind of freaked out about it. I think it's funny. But deep down he thinks it's kind of cool. So those were his best and worst feelings about pregnancy. So I told you his best advice he could give is just talk to your significant other, and be honest and open. And we did, the last thing we touched on was like he's seeing a whole new part of me, and like you fart more. Like TMI, you fart more when you're pregnant though. I'm peeing all the time. I have to be careful, like especially when I had a really bad cough, like I couldn't have a full bladder, you know what I mean. And he just thinks it's funny. Like he said I get so embarrassed, so he thinks it's funny, because no one likes farting in front of somebody, so I'd always get like, oh, excuse me. So like being honest, that's exactly how that was. But yeah, he thinks all the embarrassing things are funny, and he doesn't find it embarrassing, so that was nice to know too. Doesn't really mean I'm gonna... No, I'm not talking about you. Doesn't mean I'm gonna like leave the door open for anything. I'm not that comfortable with it, but I will probably just realize that he doesn't find it like gross. You know what I mean? Well, the dog, the child, and I gotta go change. So I'm gonna end it here, you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. I'm planning on, I think tomorrow night, doing my 32-week update, because tomorrow I'll be 33 weeks. So, super exciting.
Subscribe and like after she shows her belly.
Okay, I'm not showing my belly in this one. Alright, you guys, well, I hope you guys had a fun weekend, and I'll probably throw in some clips of us, especially maybe if I get a clip of us shooting a deer. I don't know, some people might not like that, but disclaimer, we eat what we kill, and you don't do anything smaller than what you've already gotten. And if you don't need meat, then we don't do it. So, yeah, just a little disclaimer. But how should we say goodbye? Say peace out.
Peace.
Peace.